Brainstorming may be unstructured or structured. There is freewheeling brainstorming, which is the unstructured form. Here's where you toss out ideas randomly. Let's look at how that is. We are, as a team, a customer service team, and it's time for us to think of a new team name. Let's do some freewheeling brainstorming, where we just come up with ideas. Now remember, in freewheeling brainstorming, anything goes. There is no absurd ideas, and there is no judgment. So if you would, brainstorm with me on the name of our new team.
The All-Stars.
The All-Stars.
Customer service.
What else?
People first.
People first.
The Big Cats.
Good one.
Top
The
Dogs.
Big Cats.
Top Dogs.
Top Dogs.
Hot Tamales.
The Hot Tamales. That's great. Now, do I have to spell tamale? Now, in freewheeling brainstorming, which we just illustrated, what might happen to the quieter members of the team?
They feel intimidated.
They might feel intimidated. What else?
They might not participate.
They might not participate. So freewheeling brainstorming is a little bit difficult for new teams where you have people who are in that formation stage where they don't quite know what's expected. If we have a new team, we might want to use a little bit more structured form of brainstorming, which is called the round-robin form. It's more orderly and it's more inclusive. What we do is we go around the group to get input. Here's how that looks. Okay, team, we are the customer service team, and it's time for us to think of a new name. What I'd like you to do is to please take 60 seconds and write down ideas that come into your head. After you've written them down, we're going to go around the group and get your input. And it's fine if you don't have an idea to say pass. So please take a minute, if you would, and write down some team names. Okay, let's go around the group and give me one idea at a time. So we'll just move around. Now what the facilitator will normally be doing is we'll be back over at the whiteboard writing down these ideas. Let's see the input that this team had. And again, the question was a new team name. So if we could, let's start with you.
Okay, Square Wheels.
Good, Square Wheels.
The right stuff.
Right stuff.
The Top Dogs.
A super service team.
The Fixers.
Fixers, okay.
Service Specialists.
Good. Let's continue.
The Slow Pig.
We give, you take.
Good.
Celebrities.
Celebrities.
Customers first.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Okay.
Superstars.
Superstars. Let's keep going.
I'll pass.
Okay.
Apples and oranges.
All right.
I think I'm going to pass this time.
Okay.
I go pass.
Pass still. Great. What we've done here with the round robin is we've allowed people to be a little bit more comfortable because they had the time to write. And we also make it safe for people to pass when you've run out of ideas. I like to use this form of brainstorming with teams that are new, or where you have quieter members and some very dominant members, because this helps to equalize the input. We've talked about the unstructured form of brainstorming, the freewheeling, then adding a little bit more structure, round robin. A very structured form of brainstorming is affinity diagramming. Let's work that through. Let's say that we are a customer service team, and you know what's happened? Over the last 3 months, our customer complaints have increased 15%. We've got to get to the bottom of this. This is causing a lot of trouble in our company. So with an affinity diagram, we're going to try to start with brainstorming to find out why the complaints have increased. Our first step is to do the brainstorming as we did in the freewheeling type of brainstorming. But instead of just calling out the idea, what I'd like you to do is to write the idea down on a sticky note as it comes up to you. And as you're calling it out, you'll be writing it down, peel it off your pad, and please place it on the table. So if we'll do that, let's start on the subject, brainstorming then of what reasons could have caused this 15% increase in customer complaints. So let's just brainstorm. Remember the freewheeling style. Okay, so would you one at a time call it out, write it down at the same time?
Poor service.
Poor service, good, write it down. What else?
Quality of our product is lessened.
Good, quality of product.
Hardware failures.
Hardware, good, write it down.
Length of delivery.
Length of delivery, write it down.
Price increase.
Price increases. Now, as facilitators, what we're working on is to encourage the brainstorming process. What else could have caused this 15% increase?
Less hours of availability.
Availability, please write it down. And one idea per sticky note.
Bad employee morale.
Employee morale, write it on another piece.
Poor response time.
Okay, response time.
One of our competitors is giving better customer service.
Competition's getting us, good. Right.
Sales that really aren't sales.
Okay, sales that aren't true sales, write it down.
Turnover.
Okay, write it down.
Management change.
Good.
Maybe the buyout of a company.
Buyout, sure.
New structures.
New structures,
The company relocated.
good.
The severe winter conditions.
Sure, the weather perhaps. What we do is we continue to brainstorm with the team until everyone is out of ideas. The second step is to randomly place the sticky notes on a board. I'm going to ask you, if you would, to take those sticky notes you have, to please place them in any fashion on the board. And after you've done that, please stay standing for the next part of this activity. What the team members are doing now is randomly placing the stickies that they have, and then the next instruction that we're going to give is to ask them to silently categorize the sticky notes into columns that have a common theme, such as any of those issues that had to do with equipment or those issues that had to do with morale. Now, the reason I'm going to ask the team to do it silently is so that no team member influences the other member. Let's watch and see what this looks like. What you'll be doing is taking off these sticky notes and silently arranging them in columns that have like factors. Now, you must do this silently. You may not talk, and if you don't like where one person has put the sticky notes, you may take it off and put it someplace else. So let's start the sorting process here and see what they're going to come up with. The team members are examining the different notes and seeing what they have in common. Columns are being formed, and you'll see in just a minute that each column will have something very important in common. Once the team has completed the sorting process, we ask the team to step back and to be able to vocalize what each column has in common. Let's take a look at what happened here. Now, what would you say each of these items have in common?
Personnel issues.
Okay, would you agree that's personnel?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we could, does somebody have a sticky note, please? Let's write down the area called personnel, and let's put that up at the top of that column. What would you say the second item had in common?
Logistics.
Do you think logistics? What else might that be?
The product itself.
Okay, so you think maybe the product a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say the product. Okay. And then the third column. What would you say is the common thread in that third column?
Service.
Service. Service. Can we be more specific? Because we're looking at service.
Poor service.
Poor service. Okay, if you would sit down, we'll talk about what we've seen here. Now we can see that we have the major issues that are causing the 15% increase in customer complaints. Those general issues have been narrowed down to include personnel types of issues. The product itself is causing complaints, and then poor service. So what we did here is we were able with the team to quickly synthesize the information that started out being extremely random. The result of this activity is that we have a handful of specific issues that we can now look at that caused that 15% increase in customer complaints. Affinity diagramming is a highly interactive and successful way to make sense out of a broad range of issues quickly. I'd like to thank my team, and would you please return to your seats?